and bam, there we go. Hello, hello, it's me again. I might be quiet, microphone's out of the way. I'm kind of in a position where if I bump anything in the wrong spot, everything comes crashing down, but that's the usual jank that we get around here. But anyways, with that, welcome, welcome. This is I'll get to the screen anyways. It's black on purpose, black screen. But anyways, we'll get to it right away here. I'll be quick. I know I yap all the time, but it's been a while. So thank you all for checking out the stream. I know you're going to come in and out. That's fine. This is mostly going to be for YouTube later on anyways. If you guys haven't heard the news, I don't stream anymore, really. I use Twitch mostly for long-form videos like today. I just don't have the proper environment for my equipment to last long. Things heat up really quickly, or I don't have the space to do the proper mounting, so I can't give you guys the experience that you should get for my streams. So that's why I don't do them anyways, or at least I don't try to, or don't care to. Anywho, with that, I have a week off, so starting this week, to get a head start, I'm going to be doing another painting channel, which is or painting challenge, excuse me, where I'm going to be painting 2,000 points of Conquest, the Last Argument of Kings. I am doing, if you've seen my Twitter, which links should be down below, or in the Twitch banner, or on the YouTube banner if you go to the page. I'm doing a mix of city-states meets Nords. The lore is that this little small band of city-states members, philosophers, went up north to do exploration after the whole sort of stuff happened with their lore and it got available to get up there. And they went kind of to explore more as, like, scholars than warriors, though they did have a little, retinue, a polemarch, and a squad or two of dudes to go with them as security. Things happen which caused them to bump into a tribe of roaming Nords who were trying to escape from, the Spire and all that stuff, and some giants that were not being too friendly, and a dragon. In the end, they've earned the respect of each other. The leaders of the Nords were willing to accept the truth that they discovered with the help of the city-state. Thus, because of all this, the city-state members were kind of ostracized or presumed dead, and thus, I keep saying thus, they were forced to kind of stay up there, because, like, where else are they going to go? And they kind of met friends and warrior pals there, and happened to merge both societies together. So a lot of my units are going to be a hodgepodge of stand-ins, or giving them, as I get more bits, I'm going to be mixing bits and stuff, and as, they start adding more and more STLs to add as alternate weapon gear loadouts for their units on their website, I'll be printing those out. So yeah, starting off here, I'm going to turn on the camera and I'll show you what we're kind of working on. This is going to be like this week's project, and then we'll get on forwards there. And in the end, if I do good and I, balance money, and I get this project done before Bolt Action 3rd Edition officially launches, which is I think the 23rd, because I got a good chunk of it already done. But if I get it done before then, I will allow myself to get the first blood box of 100 kingdoms. And that's it. No more 100 kingdoms. Just that box. That will be my first blood army, and then this will be my last argument army. So without further ado, and me rambling, let's get right into it. I am also in a Discord call, so if friends and stuff that come and watch this want to join, if you hear some people saying some out-of-pocket, like, crap, that's why I'm in that sort of server. So I don't know any other server of people I watch stuff that I can just chill in and stream myself. But yeah, let's go. I'm gonna turn on the camera. Prepare yourself. What? Focus. There we go. We are focused. I gotta just reset the ISO there. Is it because of this newspaper? Oh, it's not oh, no, that made it better. I don't know what it is. I'm scared. Anyways, let's go that way. scared people. Anyways, there we go. So we got the camera on. It's, again, kind of weird and wonky for how I paint, how I'm sitting. So I might be tending to pull my arm this way. But anywho, I'm trying to fix that. Again, this is a makeshift camera stand I'm using. I literally got a piston from a V6 engine holding this thing up. But anyways, this is what we're working on. We're currently working on today. We're going to be doing the raiders for the Nords. Doing some raiding shenanigans today. Again, like I said, the lighting is not the best. Anyways, so we're going to do some raiders with the Lost Ark. Bump my camera, my microphone. So yeah, we're going to be doing these guys today. And then if we finish them, we have some werewolves to do. And then once I'm finished those werewolves, I will do the named werewolf. And then the one pole mark that I have spare, he'll be a bonus model if I get to him, but he's not like the main thing. And then, if all of this is done this week, I will paint this boyo, a mountain giant. Now, in a fun little friend game, my friends would probably allow me to mix the models in the armies. Of course, you know, they have to keep their army specific rules. That's fine. But if I was to play them in actual choose one or the other army, he would either be the mountain giant, or if I was playing in Conquest or in city states, he would be a forged giant, the guy with the hammer, not the spear. And I use the guy with the spear as my the ice giant, the guy that can do spells, not the named one, but like the other, like sea giant or whatever. And then yeah, if he's in city states, he's the fire guy that can do spells, which I need to get another one of him because I can run 2 of them in an army, and they're pretty good. Anywho, then something I did the last week or so ago was this lady here. Another sort of character based on lore, though not 100% how I would have her look if I actually could make the model myself. But she gets the point across, and she's kind of like a cool little funsy, you know, pin-up-y model. You know how they're doing if you've never seen Conquest, every year they kind of do like a giveaway model or a model that represents something in the history, you know, kind of a limited edition thing where you can usually use them as proxies for a unit, and they'll usually tell you what unit that's supposed to be. Or I think one time they actually made an actual character that you can use. But anyways, this year's was a shark. So to kind of proxy / make a model for my sergeant of my murder cows, because I always have to do murder cows for people who know me. She's a Nord. I was gonna get the female Jarl, and that would be the female companion to my polemark that came to that place, and that was kind of like how they're connected in this lore. And have it where in one of the battles, because I did play a few games with them, and she took the hit, but the polemark was able to fight back, basically, you know, get vengeance. I made it so that she they used a form of blood transfusion because city-states would have some sort of medical situation. And the blood they used was used by actually some of the Minotaur people. And what they didn't know is she had that gene that the werewolves have. Nords, they're a super soldier made by the Spires, which are space elves, that when adrenaline kicks in and certain DNA gets mixed in with them, they're like an EV basically. They're the EV of humanity. It turns them into werewolves, or it can turn them into trolls, turn them into giants, so on and so forth. And in her case, because the Minotaur blood was introduced, it when her adrenaline kicked in, especially her emotion to, you know, protect her tribe, her husband, she mutated into a Minotaur, and thus this is the model of her in combat. So I use her Jarl version as the sergeant, or as the, you know, the HQ unit, or if I'm running a lot of cows and I already have a couple of pole marks, I'll have her as the sergeant of the cows. Now, if I was to actually make her a model, I would probably kind of keep the same shape, because she is the Minotaurs are this height. I got her custom printed by the guy in a custom base made to fit the model, so she'd be like height accurate. I'd have her be a little bit more buffer, um, less thick, more muscle, and give her more plating. Give her like a little bit more of that Nord plating on it, and then yeah, the axe that the Minotaurs use and some of the shoulder padding from that. But besides that, I really like this model. This was made by Twin Goddess Studios. Highly recommend checking them out. They do a lot of those like Goblin Girl models. But yeah, so that's what I've been working on. If you want to see what else I've done in the past, go ahead and check out my Twitter. But yeah, well, enough yapping. We're going to start here with the hardest one to do. Nords are notorious for having really huge, outlandish banners. So we're going to do that. Yeah, let's get into that. And if you have any questions, or if you need to get my attention for something, please use the notifications down below or type in the chat. I can see the chat. It's a little delayed on my end, but I'll see it and I'll respond to it when I actually see it pop up. So if you type something, just wait a little bit, give me a minute, and I'll answer it if I'm really into painting, because I get really into painting. So let's go. Where we've started, we've used, for the skin, we've used, I got a microphone in my way, that's why I'm kind of like looking over. We got Viking Blue, and then we hit that with Void Shield Blue from Army Painter, and a airbrush just you know, for their clothing, because when we hit it with washes and other paints, it's going to dim down anyways. So we did that, and then we used Crusader Skin, and we're going to do that with all these guys here too. We're going to Crusader Skin it. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. There we go. So I'll zoom in for showing you guys, then I'll zoom out for when I paint. Anyways, do I got you guys focused? There we go. Yeah, so his Crusader Skin used some metal mixed in with a bit of orange to give a different sort of icy look to the metal, rusty, irony, metal-y look. Same with on here and stuff. And then the banner, like the cape here and the wood is going to be this blue, but the sticks and the bones and stuff and the rope we're going to paint different colors. And then of course the banner we're going to paint brown for the trees. I did make it so that the stick is actually high enough that when this guy goes into the base of the movement trays here, the stick actually touches the movement tray, so it holds itself up. That's a trick I would tell anybody, especially on these larger banners for rank and flank games. If you can put the model onto the base as you're building it, so build the body and the weapon, and before you put the banner on, slot them into the base, and then just put the arm so it touches this, and it'll help hold itself up and they're not falling down as much. I do also have on all my dudes these little magnets. These are, I think, like 2x1 or 1x2, one of this. It's not like a 5x1 that a lot of people recommend, but they are slightly taller, but they are a lot stronger. So they'll hold it in the tray, and I can hold it upside down. But yeah, so let's just get right into this. I'm gonna zoom the camera out. Now the camera may black out. That is normal. Again, as I was saying, I live in a spot where it's really hard to do this because it's hot, and this camera, even though it says it's supposed to be a streamer's camera, it is not. It overheats so quickly compared to other cameras I've seen. So if it does black out, give me a moment. I'll let the camera refresh, and I'll switch to my backup camera, which is not going to be its best quality, but it'll do. And then when the camera's cooled down enough, I'll switch the cameras back. So we're going to start with our monster brush. This is kind of like my go-to, like this size of bristle at least is my go-to for any painting. It does just like the right side. It's like a nice intermediate. But everything else, my preferred brush is the Chronicle Cards Wolf Hair brush. That is my most used brush, and I love them. I will not stop promoting them until something goes wrong or their quality dips or they get closed down, which I hope not. But yeah. Let's do the browns first, I guess. Let's start with that. We're going to start with the brown. I believe this is an oak brown that I have put to mix into my Mornfang brown, and it makes an actually interesting color. They don't make this Mornfang brown anymore. I don't think they make Mornfang brown in general anyways. So I mixed it with the closest paint I could find in my Army Painter range, and it's made its own unique color. So I call this one Mornfang Brown 2.0. So I could put a little... Just do this. Do 2.0. 2.0. There you go. Mornfang Brown 2.0. I don't know what the exact mixture is, but it's a really nice brown and it goes on really nicely. So, a little bit here. Again, I'm not used to streaming anymore, so if I pull the model off screen, it's because I'm painting something up close. It's just subconscious that I'll do it. So, yeah. Sorry in advance. So, let's see. Let's get this part here. Now, it's going to go on a little watery, and it's not going to fully cover. That's fine. Again, the current humidity and weather right now, it's better to be thin and liquidy than it is to be thick. Just because how it dries and stuff, it will clog up and it'll ball up and it's just a mess. My Minotaur girl suffered that unfortunately on her face. In a distance, she's nicely blended and like table height, she's perfect. In my opinion. Not the best, but she's perfect in my opinion of how I can do it. But yeah, if you look at her under a microscope or a camera, yeah, you can clearly see where the paint dried up and it kind of like got pushed around and clumped up. So just a little touch there. I did get Space Marine 2. So I guess I can do a quick little review on that since I'm here. I may also mute my microphone here in a moment and turn on the fan just to help with cooling. I can always unmute to answer your questions, but I think I'll do that here after I'm done it. But anyways, Space Marine 2. Is it the hype? Maybe. All in all, without really spoiling much, it's like they made, if you took Space Marine 1, but you didn't make Space Marine 1, and you made it this year, like you released it this year, that's basically what it was. So if you were a fan of Space Marine 1 and wanted a lot more to it, and wanted it to be a full game and not just like a tech demo that Games Workshop paid them to make, then definitely get Space Marine 2. It is definitely worth it. Now, if you've never played Space Marine before, you also don't need to know that. It's good on its own. But looking at it subjectively compared to other games that are out there and its price costs where I live and how content you get at it on launch day, I'm going to say it's probably not worth it. Now, that's not to say it's not bad. Like, it's an amazing game. It's definitely going to be up there for, like, if anything, it'll probably get a mention or recommendation for Game of the Year. It's not going to win it, but it's going to be, like, definitely, like, a runner-up for it. It's another game. They use a lot of, like, tropes, like, the bridge is kind of like a hub. You know, you have generic NPCs just kind of standing around doing nothing, even though in, like, the Warhammer lore, they would be bolter drills, praying, they'd be doing stuff. They're not a people that just sits around. They're always doing something for a reason. And so it's kind of like, cool, here's just that generic guy who's leaning over the post looking down at the floor, or here's generic people just standing around because there's a cart blocking the way to stop you from going down that hallway. It's like, oh, come on, guys. And then, like, the missions and the story, if you play just the Titus side, is kind of short. It is longer if you play, especially with both sides, because it's like a dual story. If you play both sides, it's definitely longer than the original game, especially on a harder difficulty. But it is definitely a game that was like, you play the story, we just get like a quick ending to what happened to Titus from the first game, even though there's going to be a different story from what I heard. And then the main majority of it is you're playing Helldiver-esque, Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood sort of missions with your kill team and custom Space Marines. And then, of course, the multiplayer mode is back, which I wish they would have allowed it so that there's a mode where you could, one side plays as the Tyranids and one side plays as Space Marines, and you have like 3 different factions you can play as, so like Chaos, Space Marine, and then Tyranids. But all in all, despite all those little issues, I'd say, the game is great. If you got it, it was worth the money. If you're on the fence about it, I'd say wait for, you know, your other friends to get it, or it goes on sale and all your friends can get it. It's a game that's going to be fun, but you're going to switch to a different game once a new, better one comes out, or you've played like, you know, 30 hours of it on the same sort of repeating kill team missions until the DLC comes out. Besides that, it does really well at showing off what it is like to become a Primaris in the current Warhammer lore. Okay, that's done on that leather. That leather. A lot of straps on these guys. Surprised these guys are not as naked as like Games Workshop models. And I thought Games Workshop models were pretty like what's the word? Restrainted in their, or like PC in their designs. If I get brown on there, that's fine. I'll be painted a different color anyways. Okay, now on here, we gotta paint all these leather straps that are holding it together. Personally, I'd probably just not build banners ever again from Nords. City States, they don't use banners. All their kind of like HQs and stuff have the banner abilities on them. So you don't have to worry about that. Though the 100 Kingdoms have some really nice ones if you love heraldry. If you like Age of Sigmar's, like Cities of Sigmar, or the armor of Stormcast, go City States. The Wardrune have really pretty dinosaurs you can paint. They do really well with blending. Like if you're a blend wizard, highly recommend painting some Wardrune, which are their orcs. If you like doing effects, like you love painting glow effects and chipping and non-metallic metals, non-metallic metals you can do on 100 Kingdoms because they're knights, but like it would really shine on the Drugar or whatever, they're dwarves. And if you like horror and zenithal priming and cool dark colors and gothic look and horror effects and stuff, the Spire can be really cool. That's kind of like their Dark Eldar. And then their Tomb Kings / their Death Army, which I have a model, which is going to be a bonus model if we get all this done really quick, is their like Tomb Kings Necron's army, like their undead zombie Roman soldiers. Anyways, I'm going to turn on the fan So if you hear, if it's noisy, I am sorry, but it is freaking boiling up here. So I'm just gonna mute myself. Brush tip number one I can give you guys while painting is don't push the brush into the model, or don't rotate your bristles and stuff. What you want to do is you want to rotate the model around your brush. So whatever direction you start painting in, keep that motion and just move the model to match. That is the best way you can protect, one of the best ways you can protect your brushes to make them last a lot longer and help to kind of keep that natural point it has. Just like extension cords, how they kind of want to bend on there in a certain direction. The paintbrush is just like that also. It has a direction it wants to naturally kind of bend and flow. So if you figure out what direction that is, and you're using it on nice surfaces and not like super bumpy one or using it for dry brushing or texture paints, unless you bought the brush for that purpose, which then ignore this warning, you'll want to find that point of direction it wants to go. So, especially if you go into nicer brushes, like those like $20 brushes, like the Kolinsky Sables or whatever. Yeah, you're definitely gonna want to learn that. But sometimes there is certain spots where you can't, and that is okay, as long as you're not doing it all the time. You kind of go back to that direction. It will help. It'll also help with your arms and wrists and stuff too, to kind of like help with wear and tear on that. So, hey. Excuse me. Oh. Now we're just going to paint straps on the hilt here. Don't care if I get it all completely covered, because washes on a white primed model will help, especially with the army painter stuff. They're really good at staining and being a nice wash that also seals if you dip wash it. These guys are really good for dip washing. Anyways, we did that. We're going to now get onto a darker brown for the wood. I use a Catachan flesh for this sort of thing. I will say, I like the idea behind paint pots, especially like the new P3s that are coming out, because they're the old P3 bottles, or the old Citadel twist-on ones. Just the idea that you can just crack it open, dip it on the little lip, and then you're good to go. I really like that. It saves on paint. You can put it onto a wet palette if you want to. It don't waste too much. I could just take what I need. The only downside to it, again, we're talking about the old ones, not the new pots. And I could have used a bigger brush on this. Always using a bigger brush than you think you need will, one, teach you how to be better control, and two, will make less trips to get more paint. Anyways, yeah, I just like the ease of getting paint. Don't waste stuff. Though the downside is a lot of these new brands nowadays, which the only real one is Citadel, is that they leak all over the lip because it's designed that way. And if you do a lot of airbrushing, they're not the friendliest to pour into your airbrush. Even when they had those airbrush style paints, it still was a mess to pour them in. I was like, the guy's like, yeah, I know for sure how to fill the thingy that you put water in at like offices. I can speak, I swear. Coolers or whatever. Water cooler. And they just spill all over the floor, and like only half the water ever is used because the other half is on the ground. Yeah, it's like that. Except for not that bad. It just leaks a little, like goes under the lip. End up having to like wipe it down with a spare paper towel to clean off the lip so it can seal, and when it gets too gunked, I just have to go in with a sculpting tool that's like a pick and get it out, which hurts the wrist like crazy. You're clamped onto this thing in such a weird way. Anywho, that should be it for the wood, at least on this. Now we can get onto the wood that's back here. Now this is a mix of bone and wood, so I'm going to be careful with that. do have a good bone color I've been using. There you go. Just wipe that off. Fling water at myself. Yeah, not much to talk about. I'm very reactionary sort of communicator. I've never been the one to really be good at starting conversations, even though I was always the one in social situations where I always had to start the conversation. I was never talked to, I was always talked at. Unless somebody needed something. Anyways, I'm gonna go mute myself again so you guys aren't blasted by the fan, and I'll be back if I have something else to say. There we go. Wood is painted off. There we go. Get that off the brush. There you go. So that's the brown now. Normally I do this in steps, so it's like I paint all the brown on all of them, then skin on all of them, so on and so forth. But because this banner guy is slightly more prettier than the others, I'm going to take a little bit more time to work on him. Just because the banner is going to be the first thing you see in the army, and then the sergeant is the second one she's already done, so I don't have to worry about him. Next, for things like the bone or the boots, we're going to use this to start off, Steel Legion Drab. And then, which I apparently put Zeltban in, whatever that is. I guess that's paint color. Mix the two. So we're just going to paint the boots. This is my go-to, like, tan to leather sort of boots colors that I like. Again, everybody has their own unique preference on what the colored boots they like to see. So there's that. I expect if I was to paint my French, to continue painting my French, I'd probably have a lot more viewers, just because Bolt Action 3rd edition is coming on in like next week. So there is that. A little dry. Not one of those painters that basically paints with watercolors, but I do know when a dry paint is a dry paint and will require water. Reminds me, I do have a spray bottle to add some water into it. There you go. Over time it'll dry out anyways, so it'll go back to its normal consistency. But it's a lot better now. Boots. Just get a bit at the bottom. We'll go in there with the black paint anyways. Okay, so that's the boots done. I'm gonna do other spots with this paint too. I get the ropes on the banner. We're gonna get this belt here. I think it's supposed to be metal, but oh well. It's this color now. He's the banner boy, so we're gonna paint his fur here to be a slightly different color than the rest. There we go. There to the straps on the banner. Paisan. down to the bone. Okay, so that was the bones done. So now we're going to go in and... Oh, it's hair. We go and paint the hair here, paint the shield, paint the little trophies on the end here, the furs. That needs to get touched up. And then the metal on him and the base coating is done. So do the fur next. The fur is the largest piece on here. For that, we're going to use some Celestial Gray, because we'll let the wash do its natural thing and shade it. So this is basically going to go on kind of like a wash, and it's going to just dye it a bit, kind of like a glaze. Then I go in with the actual thick paint. This one. And we'll just do it to this one too. There we go. We'll do the hair. And the wrappings. Because again, depending on how we hit it with the wash, it will dye at a different color, so basically get it prepped for like if it's speed paints. There. Pants. Touch this up on the pants, just to cover a bit of color so that the actual can go on top and be good. Basically, almost like reapplying the base, like primer. I think that's it. I can see. Skull back here. Anyways. There we go.
Du hast versagt.
Noises. Well, at least the sound effects work. It is going. I'm enjoying some time off, doing some painting or Conquest, trying to get these ready so I can get to Bolt Action 3rd when it comes out. But yeah, we're currently working on this banner boy here. We just finished the bones and fur on the banner. Now we're going to be doing the shield here. Hopefully you've been having a good day, or if you've been playing Space Marine, hopefully that's been fun. I know a lot of people's been talking about it. I started playing Conquest, I think, a couple months ago, when Gamescom came around here. We play tested it, we really liked it. So, one friend's getting into dwarfs, the other's doing Old Dominion. I'm doing a Nords city-state crossover, and another is playing the Sorcerer Kings. I don't really stream. I only ever use stream for long form videos like today, where this is the start of my painting challenge. For the most part, if I do stream, I'm on my friends, which is Small Upic. Recommend checking them out. They stream almost every day. I don't have the skill or the right setup to be able to long stream you know, too hot for the equipment, don't have the right stands and stuff, so wouldn't be worth it for people who want to come see stuff. But I do have a YouTube. I mostly post on there. This almost looks like a pickle now with the color. It does have a pickle color to it. I think I started seriously streaming like 10 years ago? 10, 11 years ago? Okay, shield's done. So now we're gonna go in and, oh yeah, there's this wood here. It looks like a fancy wood, so we're gonna use, what color will we use? Not that. We'll use,
Du hast versagt.
more people. Load the mayonnaise cannon. I mostly play, and sorry for the background noise. It's, again, like I was saying, it's really hot, so I have the fan going to keep the camera alive. I'll mute myself once we're done talking. But I mostly play Bolt Action. That is my game of choice. I used to play 40k in Sigmar. The Games Workshop became Games Workshop, and I quit, sold everything. I love Bolt Action just because it's very much old school Warhammer meets historical, and a lot of the people play it know that, so there's not a lot of meta chasing, and it's just you're there for fun, and like, you know, you might lose because of what you're playing and stuff. You're just there to have fun time and reenact stuff while also having a competitive scene to it. Used to play Legion, but then they kind of just dropped support for that. They quitted that, so got out of there. What else have I played? The World of Tanks miniatures game. I had that. That's really about it. I was painting the wood on here. Don't get much time to play. I do like it. They are fun games. I do really love how Conquest, though, has lore in mind. So, like, units, armies, all that stuff is based off of what the community chooses. And not just like they have a weekly quota of like a new model a week. That's how I can make my OC character that I have for my army. Though I wish I had 3D modeling skill and I'd make her an actual proper lore-fitting model, but you take what you can take. She represents the idea. Though they did talk about making an RPG at one point, so I'll use the model for that. Yes and no. She is an officer. I made her so that you can use her in both. The idea is, if I have her in her human form, she's my Jarl. It's just like the Jarl with the spear, the female Jarl. If I use her as a sergeant or an auxiliary, I have her Minotaur version. And then for funsies, if I use her and her husband model on the field at the same time, I give them like little bonuses. But It's more for like if I'm playing with my friends and they want to have a narrative-esque battle. If you give me a second here, I can actually pull up her model. I have her right beside me. I showed her off at the beginning of the stream. Or you can check her out on my Twitter, which should be down below. That's where I post all the things I'm currently working on, or if there's something cool at Gamer Subs, not sponsored, that I think is neato, or I'm just trying to, enter the draw for. It'll pop up there too. Anything else for this funky wood? All the wood in the back. Oh, there's layers upon layers. Cells within cells. Sorry if I have this off the camera, it's like ridiculous to get in there. Whoever made these banners are an evil genius. There we go. Gonna need more. Anyways, before I put more down, I'll show her off, I guess. So I don't have the human side of her yet. I'm waiting for that to restock where I play. But this is her, like, Minotaur self. Got some Greek writing on there. Again, if I was to change her, I'd make her a little bit more muscly. Give her a lot more armor to match the Minotaur style. But this was the closest thing I could find online that they were actually selling prints of. And the guy was really nice. If you guys want his card, he now has the scale for Conquest. So this is the dude right here. So if you guys want some custom Conquest models, hit him up. Tell him I sent ya. There's his information right there. And he 3D prints stuff. He's a printer, he's not a creator, but he can alter stuff for you. So he made this custom base that she's on so that fits into the monster stand, and he matched her height and width to match that of the Minotaurs. So she does fit 1-to-1 for what she would be to the Minotaurs. So at least there's that. At least it's not like I'm using a Games Workshop, a D&D mini, like a 28 mil versus a 38. So here's that. Someday I might play around with 3D modeling. If I get a better computer, I might. Surprised my camera's lasted this long as it has. It normally dies by now, but that's that. Looks nice. I like that new the new Predator that they showed off during the last coffee talk. I kind of want to get her just to paint up. I am trying to be good and not branch into every army like I did with bolt action in this game, which it's very easy to do from what I've seen. But I would not mind getting the Predator, the new Predator on mount to paint up. No, I wish they made the single stand, like single character stands. Because I know there's like one dwarf that has a cool, like actual custom base for him to use that's for only meant for one model. And I know there's a couple people who print them by where I live so that they're nice in the middle. I like that. But my 3D printer broke, so I can't print stuff anymore. Anyways, now we are on to the metallics. Yeah, there's a guy here who's in the community, and he sells them to people. So next time he makes a batch of them, I'm gonna ask for 5 of them. That way I can just have some spares. But yeah, here we go. We're I'll zoom in for you guys so you can see it better. But don't you dare fall over. I felt you move, tripod. Oh, there we go. So here he is. Can I get better lighting on him? Yes, I can. Banner. Again, this is going to look way better with washes. Banner, back of him. So now we're just going to go and paint these discs on his butt here. We're going to go paint that some silver and stuff like that. It feels natural to go blue with Nords. I might paint this wood up here too. We'll see. But I do like the blue on blue. If it was more flatter, and like if I was to redo this banner, I'd have the part here be removable, so that way I could like take it off and either have the flat board and paint a symbol on there, and then I could either glue this on top of it to make it natural, or if they would have molded in like a banner or something, or have a version that doesn't have this, that would be pretty neato indoor mosquito. So, but again, I'm not a masterclass designer, so I can't say what would actually work for a situation like this. I will change the blue. Hello. How is it going for you? We're being nerds right now, talking about an awesome game. Ooh. Oh yeah, that works. This is Luftwaffe Blue, I believe, from Vallejo. Vallejo paints are really nice. I will say that. Yeah, that looks better. That makes it stand out at least, definitely. If I can get it in focus for you guys. Let me zoom back out now as I punch the camera. And focus. Basically, I have my tripod held up by a piston from a 6-cylinder engine, so I'm trying my best not to punch it. Because that's kind of hard to do. Well, I hope your headache goes away. Yeah, sit in the dark, drink water. If it's an alcohol-based headache, then fatty foods will help. And lots of water. There we go. A bit of blue here. Bit of blue here. There we go. Yeah, that's way better. That is way better. It makes it look stands out differently, so I like that. We'll add to his cape up at the top here too. Keep that point. I don't know how to do shoutouts on here, but if that is the right person I'm thinking of, Alicia, if that's how you say her name. I'm sorry, I can't see the names right here. It's kind of cut off by my lamp. But go check them out. They stream, or at least they have they stream with somebody. I'm not too sure if they actually stream themselves, but check out their channel. Yes, the blue is coming together. Unlike my parents, the blue is coming together. Okay. Don't you dare stab my paintbrush. Ooh, I have some of this out already. Let's try it on your cape. Oh, that's actually really nice. Okay. We're going to use that on his cape when we get to him. But anywho, let's get to those metallics. This is a hodgepodge of a paint that I have invented / mixed like a maniac. I don't like another pet peeve I have with the dripper bottles, and it just may be because of how I grew up, but I hate waste. And when you have a little bit in the pot in your bottle and stuff, and I like how I like pot is the idea behind pots, so I'll do my best to keep them clean and maintenance, and I'll reuse them. And what I'll do is I'll just pour paints that match, and over time it'll kind of make new colors. Or they'll start changing to the replacement. But this is a mix of Shining Silver, I think it's Shining Silver or Plate Mail, one of the two from Army Painter, plus Leadbelcher's Air, and then a little bit of Vallejo Air silver to make this kind of what is it called? Is it Shining Silver from Games Workshop? That's kind of like that meets a bit of like the thickness of Leadbelcher. It's a really nice silver, and it takes washes and watered down colors really well. Like you can make your own custom gem paint with this stuff. But again, because of how it's mixed, it does glomp up on the ends. So I do from time to time, if I can move this without it exploding on me. That's the hardest part. It does gloop up from time to time, but again, it's dried up, so you can just use a little, like a dentist pick to get in there and pop it out. But anywho, let's get to the silvers. There we go. Hopefully you guys are all having a better day. Hope I'm not being too boring to you guys, or, you know, out of camera too often. But it is going. Not the best painter. I just paint to get it over with. I mostly like to build models. Build models, play the game, collect them. Speed paints and contrast paints are my friend. Well, there is something to say about seeing a fully painted army on the table that's yours. There we go. Paint a little silver there. Paint silver on this. There we go. That is the boy. I'll zoom in on here for you. Wipe my paintbrush off. Brush soap is a recommended. I just smash my model all over the place, don't I? But I use this stuff. It came with my brushes from Chronicle Cards. It's really good. It's really good on synthetic brushes. Their other soap is really good for their natural hair. This does good work on natural hair brushes too, especially if you're using just water dissolvables and non-metallics. But I find it's really good on synthetics. But it's good. If you have some really bad brushes that have skunk stuck inside of it, Smith? Sorry, I see SMTH. I don't know what that means, or if that was supposed to be another word. Or is that supposed to be something? I can't quite tell. Yeah, I use this stuff for really bad brushes. You just dip it in there, just let it touch the bristles, you know, kind of rub it on a cloth so you get it really in there, rinse it over water, put a little bit on it again, and then let it sit overnight, then wash the brush out with soap. And for my more natural, and that stuff too will protect natural hair. For more like hard working stuff, I use this stuff. So I use the green soap on good simple stuff to keep the bristles tight, and then I use this to actually deep clean it. But yeah, if you want to share something, all I ask is, keep it TOS, safe, make sure you double check if it's a link or something, make sure you post a little what is it, but or you can tag me on Twitter, tag me on there and I'll look at it. But yeah. With that, we're gonna go on and apply. We're gonna first off show you him. We're gonna get light better on him. Zoom out. Get that out of the way. Come on, camera. Don't do me like this. There we go. I have to manually focus my camera. But anyways, here he is base coated. Not the most best painted or detailed. You can still see the base color underneath, but again, when he's in a crowd of like 12 of these dudes, or even 20 of these dudes, 24, he'll blend in. But anyways, we're gonna go and apply texture paint to his base. So we're gonna go do that right here. Snow, come to me. There's a reason why I primed them in white besides speed paint. This is the AK terrain line. It's meant for making dioramas and stuff. Though it's good on bases, you'll never run out. This stuff is basically just drywall, like filler. So it does unfortunately stain with colors. So if you're going to use this on a mixed textured base, I suggest letting the first layer fully dry, and then you go in and seal it with whatever preference you have of sealant. Let that dry and then put this on top, because putting this on top of brown, it turns patches of it green. Now I've explained it as that's just grass that's underneath, or blood spilt from the space elves and stuff. But if somebody doesn't know the context behind that, it does look really bad to people's eyes. So that is a caution I'd give to any sort of snow texture paint. It's not just the AK that does it, the Games Workshop does it also. It's just any white pasty paint that you have that will absorb colors that it's attached to if it's still wet. There we go. I'm going to say that's going to say best viewers on Twitch, but I'm going to imagine that's what that's supposed to say because it's censored on my end. Anyways, that's the texture done. Thank you all for staying with me, even though I have all the noises in the world in the background and the lighting is kind of shit. I know I'm kind of like a choice for Conquest, but hopefully you guys can check out my Twitter. That's got way better photos. My YouTube, stuff like that. But yeah, so that's drying. As that ground is drying, we can get to washes. Now I'm gonna go and do the washes on this, and I'm going to let it dry and let the camera cool down, because it's actually lasted way longer than I thought possible for it to last, so that's a blessing. I'm gonna take that win, and I'm gonna head out, take a walk, because I've been inside for the last few days, so I'm just gonna go stretch, take some water, enjoy outside before time is up and it gets dark. And then when we come back, I'll start up the stream again, and we will finish this guy, and then I will call it that for the YouTube videos. Fortunately, I don't take those sort of stuff on my Discord and stuff. I mostly use it for talk to people and doing other things, communication stuff. If you have a portfolio online, go ahead and leave that link down below. I'd be cool to check it out. But I am unfortunately do not use my Discord for that stuff. Or again, if I did this more often, I'd probably have a public Discord for people to use, and I'd also say you could do it in there, but hi y'all. Why is it going green? Do not know. Oh well. Now this side. Wish I had a bigger wash brush. This would make it a lot easier. Oh no, the googly eyes. Almost knocked the googly eyes off my pot. It's the banner covered. This brown, I just need this. This is my 50-50 of non-oil and dark tone from Army Painter. It has the nice flow consistency and staining of the Games Workshop paints, but also has the staying and pooling and tension of Army Painter. Especially if you give it a really good shake. So it flows nice, it stays nice, and it doesn't super stain. But if you put a lot on, it can actually act like a stain or a gloss. And it's good just all over wash. Yeah. Pulls in there, whatever. Not too afraid if it gets into the snow. Just gives a cool, unique look to the snow. As Bob Ross says, happy accidents. There we go. Oh, I can put that back too. Silver's done. Let me zoom in. Sure, I will take a look at that when I'm done here, but we'll zoom in here for you guys. Here he is. All washed. Get that light on him. Then he's going to be a prime candidate for dry brushing. Yeah, so I'm going to go let him dry. I'm going to also go and let the camera... Oh, there we go. I'm going to go let the camera cool. So thank you all for kind of watching. I'm going to go and let you guys raid a different person. Go watch them. If I come back in a quick enough time, I'll start the stream back up. So that might be in the next 30 minutes or so, because I do have some other things to run off and do. I may be back with somebody else on the other end, but thank you all so much for stopping by and talking with me. This has been a great coming back. Keep an eye out again on my YouTube. I'll be posting a full video explaining, showing off the stuff I've done this week, taking photos on Twitter each day, showing my progress. And if I don't do one tonight, I will definitely do one tomorrow with a little bit longer time to stream. We're looking at around the same time tomorrow to start up the next part of the stream. So again, we'll go for much longer. We kind of did almost 2 hours here, so that's kind of good for somebody I'm just coming back, starting this, saving this for the YouTube. So yeah, probably gonna cut this in a good chunk off so people can, get a nice YouTube video length. But anyways, I'm gonna go. If I don't see you guys tonight when I come back, thank you so much for stopping by. If not, see you guys in like the next 40 minutes or so. We'll be probably starting back again tomorrow at around what time is it? Probably 4 hours earlier from now, like 4 hours back from wherever you guys are. That's when we're gonna start again. So yeah, and we're gonna continue on these guys or whatever I don't finish. Again, aiming to finish these boys, the werewolves, and then this guy, and if we have enough time before the end of the week, painting up him, which requires the airbrush, so we're going to be doing some airbrushing. And yeah, that we will see you guys either tonight or tomorrow. Make sure to stay in the chat and you'll be able to raid somebody else.